Hey guys, today we are going to be reading this story, Wilfred Gordon MacDonald Partridge. And as I said earlier, this is just a super heartwarming story about a little boy who lives close to a nursing home and all the friends that he's made. And I just love this book. So, we are going to be reading Wilfred Gordon, and we are going to be talking about some of the schema that these older people have in our book. So I want you to listen for some of their schema in their book. All right. So let's look. We see Miss Nancy. She's sitting in her chair. Wilfred Gordon MacDonald Partridge, written by Mem Fox and illustrated by Julie Vivace. There was once a small boy called Wilfred Gordon MacDonald Partridge, and what's more, he wasn't very old either. His house was next door to an old people's home, and he knew all the people who lived there. So we see Wilfred Gordon MacDonald Partridge over here, and here is our old person's home. He liked Mrs. Jordan, who played the organ. This is Mrs. Jordan. He listened to Mr. Hosking, who told him scary stories. He played with Mr. Tippet, who was crazy about cricket. He ran errands. There's our vocabulary word, errands. He ran errands for Miss Mitchell, who walked with a wooden stick. He admired Mr. Drisdale, who had a voice like a giant. So he's got all these old people. But his favorite person of all was Miss Nancy Allison Delacourt Cooper, because she had 4 names just as he did. He called her Miss Nancy and told her all his secrets. One day, Wilfred Gordon heard his mother and father talking about Miss Nancy. "Poor old thing," said his mother. "Why is she a poor old thing?" asked Wilfred Gordon. "Because she's lost her memory," said his father. "It isn't surprising," said his mother. "After all, she's 96. "What's a memory?" asks Wilfred Gordon. He was always asking questions. "It is something you remember," said his father. But Wilfred Gordon wanted to know more, so he called on Mrs. Jordan, who played the organ. "What's a memory?" he asked. "Something warm, my child, something warm." Something warm. He called on Mr. Hosking, who was told him scary stories. "What's a memory?" he asked. "Something from long ago, me lad, something from long ago." He called on Mr. Tippet, who was crazy about cricket. "What's a memory?" he asked. "Something that makes you cry, my boy, something that makes you cry." He called on Mrs. Mitchell, who walked with a wooden stick. "What's a memory?" he asked. "Something that makes you laugh, my darling, something that makes you laugh." Now, all of them are having different things that they think are memories. He called on Mr. Drysdale, who had a voice like a giant. "What's a memory?" he asked. "Something as precious as gold, young man, something as precious as gold." So Wilfred Gordon went home again to look for memories for Miss Nancy, because she had lost her own. Can you find someone's memory if they lose it? Let's think. He looked for the shoebox of shells he had found long ago last summer, and he put them gently in a basket. He found the puppet on a string, which always made everyone laugh, and he put that in the basket too. He remembered with sadness the medal which his grandfather had given him as he placed it gently next to the shells. So he's got something from long ago, something that made everyone laugh, something that made him sad. Next, he found his football, which was as precious as gold. And last of all, he found his way to last of all, on his way to Miss Nancy's, he went into the hen house and took a fresh, warm egg from under a hen. Something warm. Then Wilfred Gordon called on Miss Nancy and gave her each thing one by one. What a dear, strange child to bring me all of these wonderful things, thought Miss Nancy. Then she started to remember. She held the warm egg and told Wilfred Gordon about the tiny speckled blue eggs she had once found in a bird's nest in her aunt's garden. Did she remember something? She did. She put a shell to her ear and remembered going to the beach by tram long ago and how hot she had felt in her button-up boots. So these things are reminding her of things from the past. She touched the metal and talked sadly of the big brother she had loved who had gone to the war and never returned. She smiled at the puppet on the strings and had remembered that the one she had shown to her sister and how she had laughed with a mouthful of porridge. Porridge is kind of like oatmeal. She bounced the football to Wilfred Gordon and remembered the day she had met him and all the secrets he had told. And the two of them smiled and smiled because Miss Nancy's memory had been found again by a small boy who wasn't very old either. Isn't that just the sweetest book? I love reading this, and it always makes my heart so happy thinking about all the different memories that they found. I hope you enjoyed Wilfred Gordon, because we will be reading it again tomorrow.